a quick introduction about Kanban, and then probably the flow metrics. That's what most of the people are here for. So thank you, Nisha, for getting my invitation, and coming and sharing your knowledge with all of us. Thank you. I know you are going through a really went to office and today like difficult weather and everything, and still you made it happen. Thank you so much for that.
No, it's my pleasure. It's always pleasure coming back to the community, give back, pleasure sharing the knowledge. Do excuse me for two things, my voice and the background. It's Navratri and Aarti time at home. So it will bear me for another 15 minutes or so, and I think we should be able to manage the background noise.
Perfectly fine.
So hello everyone, and glad that you're here this late in the evening. And let me get going with a quick introduction about myself. I think most of you already know, but for people who don't know me, I am Nisha Patel and a professional Scrum trainer, licensed to conduct Scrum trainings from scrum.org, the co-founders of Scrum Framework themselves. I'm safe practice consultant as well, and I'm an agile coach for a very, very long time in the IT industry for about 21 years. So been there, done that. And building agility, agile mindset. I'm very, very passionate about creating agile leadership. I think I've kind of made up my mission statement that I want to transform workplaces so that it's a happy workplace for one and all. So well, and that I believe agile leaders can do it. Okay, so I see that in you all. And well, with that, let's get going, and let me go ahead and share the screen. Let me know if you're able to see the screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Awesome. All right, while most of you, or I would assume all of you would know what Agile Kanban is, and I still thought I did start with a little brief about history. It's always better to know the history of from where a methodology or a process comes from. And Kanban actually, if you would know, has its origins from manufacturing industry. Okay, introduced by Toyota, and it was at a time wherein world was all about manufacturing products, and Toyota actually increased its products multifold, and the world was in awe, and there were many studies that happened, and it was then that Kanban became very popular in the manufacturing industry, wherein through the means of Kanban, which focused on flow primarily, or let me put it this way, optimizing the flow, meaning let the flow go as fast as possible, they were able to increase their throughput. Okay, so their focus was on the ground, and they had empowered their team members that as and when they see any bottlenecks or any problems, they are empowered to take the decision, change it, correct it, and let it go from there. All right. So, well, one would think what is common with between manufacturing industry and the software world, obviously, and that was the reason why Kanban entered the software industry so late, very as recent as 2004, 2005. Okay, so there are two guys, David Anderson and Daniel Vacanty, who found similarities of the flow concept that was the basis on which the Kanban method and process was built. Okay, it was all about flow. The focus was about flow. And that's when these two guys thought that even software development has a flow associated with it, and went on to introduce it, brought it to Microsoft. And that's how I think the software industry also went on to learn, understand that there is a lot of common principles and practices when it comes to lean principles that Kanban follows, and agile principles that the Scrum and the rest of the methodologies that follow. Okay, and hence nowadays we are talking about Kanban in the software world as well. Now, one would, what makes up Kanban? It's a method for what? To manage the work, primarily the knowledge work management. It also has its principles. It has the 6 practices that we'll quickly go through. And visualizing work is a primary principle or the practices on which everything is based. And together it forms a system where it does call about some roles, some events that needs to happen for the entire Kanban method to work. Okay, so Kanban and flow, like I said, go hand in hand. And therefore, when we talk about flow, and just to give a context to everyone, what flow means is just the sequence in which a certain things happen and always happens in that sequence. So if I have to take an example of you getting ready and going to office, it will always be alarm goes off, you somehow get up, maybe you have snooze going on, I don't know, but you then go get up, complete your morning chores, have your breakfast, get ready and catch the same bus, catch the same train and reach office, right? So there's a certain flow. And if you really want to apply, you can apply Kanban to this flow as well. Find out what is the most optimized way of getting to office, right? And that's what Kanban helps us to do. Okay, and therefore Kanban gets applied wherever you notice a flow. So another example in the professional world is the HR, wherein again, HR would like to go ahead and hire. I think we have been talking about hiring here. So prepare a job description, advertise it, get applications, evaluate and hire, right? So when it comes to software development, what is a flow that you think we have?
Requirement gathering, analysis,
Requirement
design,
gathering, analysis,
development,
development,
testing, deploy.
testing, and deploy, right? Does it change if you're working with a .NET or a Java or a Python
No,
website or a mobile
No, it
app?
doesn't change much
It
actually. It
doesn't
doesn't
change
change.
much. Okay.
Concept remains the same.
Minor, yeah. Most of the concept remains the same. Maybe when it comes to data analytics, the flow may little differ, right? You gather, again, you still need the requirement gathering, but when it comes to development, it is probably get the data from source to staging, staging to warehouse, warehouse to MDM, MDM to Power BI, and there you go, right? But there's still a flow in it. Okay, so that's a very reason, again, emphasizing the same thing, is that Kanban fits in and the Kanban practices and principles can be applied to the software development world as well. Okay, so I think I have taken a Kanban webinar in the past wherein we actually went through the whole Kanban method, going through the practices as well as the roles and events. So we aren't gonna deep dive into it because today's the day wherein I think we wanted to focus on the flow metrics itself. But I thought we'll still recollect what are the 6 practices on which the Kanban method is based. Okay, so first one is to visualize the workflow. Whatever work we are doing, so think about the work that your team is doing and you didn't like to put it up on the board, maybe a physical board, maybe your tool board, virtual board, but a way for you to see how things flow from to do to done. Okay, that is what we mean by visualizing it. Why that is an ask, why that is a need? Because that is where the transparency starts. If you're not visualizing your work, you are not seeing where the problem is. Okay, as simple as that. So that's why the first practice is all about visualizing the work. And then the next big one is we say there is no Kanban without the limits. Okay, they go hand in hand. So whatever work you're doing, we did like to limit the number of items that are in progress at any given point in time. And there is a reason, and there's a law of which we'll discuss some other day. But that law suggests that if you have to have and incoming and outgoing go in almost a similar rate, then you would like to control your work in progress. Okay, so that is when we're talking about limit work in progress. For your work to be optimized, you did like to observe the workflow, you did like to then make adjustments so that there is an improvement. And then you also want to again assess whether the improvement that you took made any difference to your flow or not. And that is where the managed flow or the flow metrics come to play, which is what we'll deep dive into. Rest of the things is all about, further enhancing your visualization by adding more policies. One of the policies anyways WIP limit, but you can add more policies wherein you clarify, okay, the color code suggests that red is for bug, yellow is for stories, and green is for technical R&D, for instance. So more explicit policies that give you more information about the work that is being represented on your board. Okay. Feedback loop. It is all about adaptation, but there's no adaptation without inspection. And how do you know what to inspect without the feedback loop? Okay, as simple as that. So that's where you need to have the feedback loop. Kanban talks about it, Lean talks about it. And then all of this so that we can improve collaboratively and evolve experimentally. So yes, this also talks about a culture wherein you can experiment, wherein you can fail fast, but learn from it. Okay. All right. So having revisited our 6 practices and focus being the flow metrics, we'll start with our board. So our board would usually look likewise, because our flow steps that we just talked about isn't gonna change much. So we have ideas, we will add details so that it is ready for dev pulls it up for work, and then push it to the ready for QA so that the QA can go ahead and do the testing. And once the QA is approving it, then it can be ready for release and released thereafter, right? So that's what the flow is all about, right? And add to this, like I said, there's no Kanban without WIP. You did like to add the WIP limit, which is one of the primary policy that we have, which essentially says that we do not want to have more than 5 items in ready for dev being worked upon at a given point in time. Or likewise, we do not want more than 3 items being worked in dev at any given point in time, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'll take a pause for a sec. Let me know if there is any question thus far. Pretty straightforward, I guess.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So now that we have the flow, we have visualized the flow, now is the time for us to understand the metrics. The first one is the cycle time. So we're talking about 4 flow metrics. The first one being the cycle time, which talks about the duration or time in any unit from the time an item was pulled up for work till the time it was delivered. Sounds good? Cycle time? Okay. So if we have pulled up a work and it has taken us 5 days to complete, then 5 is your cycle time. All right. Okay. The next one is the throughput. Now, throughput is the count, which is nothing but the number of items completed or delivered in a given period or given duration. Okay, so let's say today we completed 5 items, then our throughput daily or on daily basis, our throughput could differ, and today's throughput was 5, for instance. Work in progress, as the name suggests, the number of items on your board that are in progress. Okay, and work item age is how long an item has been in progress state. So the moment you pull up a work item for work, right, the ticking on your work item H starts and it continues till you take it to a done state. All with me on this one?
Yep.
So pretty straightforward. I think my work is done. Do you have any more questions? All right. I think your question is how do we use it, right? Yes, Devi, go ahead.
So I'm guessing all these items are captured as incidents or they are just requests.
It depends. It depends on your work context. Okay. If it is a maintenance work or you are a support project, then it will be, yep, incidents or support tickets or defects, for instance, right?
So
And if it is,
Kanban is generally for production
yeah, I've
related
heard that.
things.
It's a myth. It's not necessarily only for production. Okay.
Mm.
So Kanban is not necessary, can be only used for maintenance or production support project. It can be used for your development work as well.
All right. That's where the confusion is.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
I know it's the most common one. And there is another one which says that use Kanban if you want to do continuous delivery. Okay. That's another myth. Continuous delivery can happen with Scrum also. Scrum doesn't stop you from doing continuous delivery either. Yeah. All right. Netravati.
Yeah, Nisha. Like I always get confused with the cycle time and lead time. So I wanted a
Ah.
little more elaboration.
Yeah, I was expecting. So thanks for asking that. So lead time starts from here, from the ideas. The moment an idea came in or moment a request came in, till the time it went to the customer. Okay. While the cycle time is from the moment we took it up for work till the time it was deployed or released. Fair enough?
Yeah. So from the time work in progress till it is delivered is cycle time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Is that arrow is giving confusion or end? You said that is still released, but it is in a QA.
No, it is not QA. After QA, it goes to ready release. So again, all right. So you're done. The cycle time can be different for your different value streams. Okay. It's not a work flowing, it is your value flowing. Okay. So if you are a team for which within the sprint, within your time context of work, your done means you are putting it release ready for release, and release is a separate event altogether, then yeah, your cycle time ends there the moment it is done and put to release, ready for release. Make sense?
Nisha, will cycle time includes the wait time also?
Yep. Yep. It is the total time it took from in progress to done.
Okay.
Netravati, you have more questions? Sorry, I'm just going by the raised hand so that I'm not taking any random questions.
No, Nisha, I'll just
Okay.
raise.
All right. Ranjish?
Yes, yes, Nisha. When to choose Kanban, Scrum, and Safe in project?
All right. So while I was just giving you a surprise, I have other slides to go through, but I quickly answer your questions, right? It all depends on the context of the work that you have, okay? Safe is a very heavy transformation framework that usually an enterprise or a medium to large scale enterprise would like to adopt. Primarily, they want to keep the current hierarchy as is and still want to go ahead and do the transformation, keeping their large portfolios in place, and how to go about managing their portfolios so that they have lean management as well as the business agility that they want to achieve. Okay, so that's safe. All right. Scrum is, as you know, is the most popular one, most lightweight, that you can get started as long as you can identify in your team who can take up the PO accountability, who can take up your Scrum Master accountability and the developers accountability. Okay. And it doesn't prescribe. So you can always go ahead and add complementary practices from DevOps, from extreme programming, from Kanban, and so on and so forth. Okay. So therefore, Both scrum.org and Kanban have shaked hands, wherein we have guide for Scrum with Kanban for Scrum teams, while we have a guide for Kanban with Scrum for Kanban teams, Okay. So which one to go with? It totally depends what is your current state. Okay. If your team is already into continuous, monotonous set of sequential steps that is already going on, Kanban would be a way to quickly adapt and achieve of optimization, while Scrum would be more appropriate, or let's say will give you maximum benefits, wherein you have development, enhancements, unknowns, complex environment, right? I think so. Those are the primary aspects that you did like to consider. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Hi, Asim. Any question?
Hi, Shilpa. Yes. Actually, my question is a bit historical, and I just wanted to know before Kanban being used mostly for the support project, how it was happening earlier. Because every time you will get some ticket from the production and you need to work on it, and it will follow the same flow.
Yeah. Nothing new. You're right. It's nothing new. Okay, just that Kanban brought in some principles and practices so that you can focus on the flow optimization. As you saw in the start of the video, right? The video that was shown. The earlier ways of working were more focused on how to manage the work, or manage the task, and manage the people, while now the focus needs to go to how to keep the customer satisfied. So when you optimize the flow, you're ensuring that you're reaching your customer faster. Okay, right? So that's why, actually, since you talked about history, Jira actually was a defect management tool or an incident management tool.
True.
Okay, so that's how it started. So yep, it was always about manage those incidents and find out who can do this faster, quicker, estimate it, go about doing it, and so on and so forth. But like that video mentioned, the whole activity of management and planning was involved around keeping people busy, rather than focusing on how fast are we delivering, assessing where the problem lies, those kind of things. All right, we take 2 more questions, and we have more slides to go through, and I'm sure you will appreciate to learn more things. So yes, Domeshwaran.
Okay, I will do one thing. I will wait for the last question because I'm asking. Okay, anyway, I will ask the second question.
Okay.
So continuously I'm working on this is the third or fourth sprint I am working. I have taken a new project with Scrum. Okay. I'm seeing the product on changing the scope. I mean, user stories very frequently. So I'm going to recommend to my management stating that I want to change from Scrum to Kanban. Tell him that because of the user stories are getting changed, or the sprint goal is keep on getting changed after sprint planning. Will that work out actually?
No, I'm not sure that will solve your problem, Domeshwaran, right? If they keep changing the requirements, right? Be it Kanban or Scrum, that's gonna hit you, because that is basically your rework that is happening. Okay. What is required for us to figure out is the reason behind the change. Is the change driven by business needs, by market needs, by the feedback that we are receiving? Are they genuine needs, requirements that needs to be adapted? Okay. And if so, right, then I would suggest Scrum is better than Kanban, right? Because Scrum allows you that time-boxed event within which you experiment, learn, pivot. Kanban, you will not know how long we should keep experimenting. Okay, it gives you that discipline around the scope changes, discipline around how much you plan, and all of those things. And that's just my opinion, to be honest. Okay.
Fine. Yeah. Thank you. I'll go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, try out. At least let the PO know. Okay, 2 things. Okay, let the PO know that you may feel that keep changing the urgent items. We need to change this. Maybe that you have the control, but overall, it's increasing the aging of your product backlog items, right? And they are sitting there because you keep changing the requirements, okay? Which means when your overall aging of the items have increased, your overall release time is increasing. You're not doing anything good. Okay, right? Yes, we need to adapt, but at one time, we need to also ensure that we don't want our sprint scope and sprint goal to be impacted. So at least let's have a discipline around what we commit in the sprint doesn't change, right? So that's required. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so we understood the definition of metrics, but more often or not, it comes to how do we read them, how do we assess, how are we doing, what are the charts. We know of sprint burn down and burn ups and all of those things. Likewise, Kanban has some typical charts, and one of the most commonly heard and used chart is a cumulative flow diagram. Okay, the cumulative flow diagram, as the name suggests, is a cumulative addition of all the items that the team have worked. Okay, so the y-axis is the addition of items that are worked, be it task, be it your product backlog items, be it tickets, be it defects, whatever is your work, basically. All right, over a period of time. Okay, and the different color bands represent the different stages through which your work has flowed through or your value has gone through. Make sense? Okay, this is a simple one wherein we are saying to do, in progress, and done. Okay, the top line, okay, represents the arrival rate, meaning at what rate your items are coming into your backlog. Okay, and the bottom line represents your throughput, your average throughput. At what rate are you completing your work? Make sense? With me on that? Okay. At any given point in time, the difference between the top line and the bottom line of a given band, that is what we call it, of a given band, represents the number of items that are in progress for that band. Okay, so this light blue that we are looking at, okay, is in progress. So this top minus the bottom tells us that many items are in progress for that given day. All right, while the difference between the top line and the bottom line, which is arrival rate minus the departure rate, gives you the approximate average cycle time. Okay, it's not your exact average cycle time, approximate average cycle time. So this is one chart that gives you all flow metrics, right? Except for aging. Aging, you will not know how long it has been aging here. But if there is an item sitting in a given band, you'll know that through WIP, that an item is still in progress through WIP. Are you all with me on this? Okay. Yes. All right. Yep. So since it's cumulative, all right, like I said, it is an addition of all the work that has come to us thus far. Okay. So if we had to just assess, I thought we will do it together, couple of cumulative flow diagrams and see how we can leverage it. Okay. So here is a team that has how many stages? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so the first one is researching. After research, we commit that we want to work on it. Then there is in progress, which is where we are working. And then it is review. And then it is taken to the complete. Okay. Just look at the bands. Looking at bands, we are not even looking at the numbers or anything, right? Look at the bands. Is it telling you anything? Are you able to assess anything? Let's say we'll take a number 13th on the 13th of what? April. Okay. On 13th of April, what are your observations?
The review band is very narrow. So
The view is
items
very narrow. Yeah. So Narrow, so less work in progress items there. Limited, which is fair. Okay. So I hope we understand, right? Narrow means the number of items under that band is less.
It's a WIPL.
Come again.
A work in progress limit is there. That's why it is narrow.
That's why it's narrow. Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely. That there is whip is applied here. A good one. Yeah, Venu.
Yeah, could you explain about the y-axis? 4.7K means what it is indicates it as.
Here it is the number of items. Maybe we have been working on it. And this is the cumulative addition of all the items that we have worked. So maybe for 4,800 items is what we have been, on it, maybe.
Seems a very perfect flow because not much deviations. So
not much deviations, right? If you look at this band, right, the whip wherein the perfect parallel lines, see, perfect parallel, meaning we have been able to maintain the whip through and through. The only thing is that on 13th, if we look at this band, probably there is a wider number of items are large or increased. In fact, on that day, we had a lot of increase in the incoming flow, a steep here. You see this?
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a steep here, right? So a narrow look at it, it will tell you what's going on. And if you do this on a regular basis, you'll actually gain a knack of how to, leverage it. Okay. Another one. How about this one? So 4 stages wherein you have to do, you have in progress, completed, and accepted. Let's say what's happening between 3rd to 4th September or from 2nd to 4th September, 5th September. What is the trend that you're seeing?
Till 4th September, very less was completed or kind of zero completed.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So you almost no band for the done, right? And that's where a good cumulative flow diagram, keep a look at this. Your arrival rate and your departure rate should run almost in parallel, which tells you that whatever is coming in, almost at the similar rate you are closing as well. Okay. All right. So, like I said, right, this increasing whip, okay, when you were able to control it, but it went up, it tells it could be because of a queuing that is there because of a bottleneck. Okay, so that is an indicator when your whip goes beyond your limit and things are piling up. Just by looking at it, you probably want to just go back and analyze with the team as to what is happening, where the bottleneck is. All right. Okay. All right. Let's take another popular one, which is a cycle time scatter plot chart. As the name suggests, we are plotting the cycle time here. Each dot is representing the items completed. Okay. And each dot represents when was that item completed. So on 12th March, an item was completed and it took 87 days to complete. You see, so the y-axis tells you the cycle time, the number of days it took to complete. On the x-axis is the day on which it got done. So now, how would you like to leverage cycle time? What are the space or what are the areas you would like to further look into or assess? If you had to do a root cause analysis, which ones would you pick?
Pick the higher one.
Pick the outliers, right? Outliers like this, right? outliers like these are outliers. Okay, what happened? Are there any common expect? Okay, and the other thing that you did like to also assess is the clusters. Okay, if there are too many items getting closed around the same time frame, taking the same cycle time, so are they similar in nature? Is there a possibility for us to introduce automation so that similar type of work can be done earlier? So you will assess clusters as well. Okay, make sense? All right.
Yes.
So that's how you will use cycle time scatter plot. Talk about the throughput run chart. Now this one tells you that what is your, and this could be your daily throughput or maybe throughput weekly or throughput every sprint. Depends what you did like to plot. But on the x-axis is your days and the y-axis is the number of items that is getting completed on that given day. So what is the assessment looking at this?
From the last 9 to 10th month, the item is got delayed.
Initially, the items were not completed, or
yeah, initially we had a slow start. That is what it is saying. Okay. Then we picked up. We were delivering as much as 8, and then it dipped. Then we were 8. So there was an average of about 8 to 10, 8 to 9. And then it really spiked. And it spiked further. But then we are staying around an average of 20, 22, 23, 24, right? Yeah. So that's what it is. So any changes that you make to your numbers, especially your WIP limits, you did like to see how it is impacting your these metrics through these
Nisha,
charts.
here we are observing that we are getting the high throughput towards the end of this time. But why there is what this dip means to us?
So this dip could be many reasons, right? There was a complex work and it took more time for us to complete the complex work. A given sprint or a given backlog of items that came in took longer than expected for us to complete, then the throughput would reduce, right? So that's
Like there
where
are few items which are there from 0 to 5 in the latter side.
0 to 5, yeah. This one we are talking about, right?
No, between 17th of September to 17th of October.
Huh,
Few items
17th
are
of
there between 0 to 5.
Yep. So again, right? You could have made various changes. You could have introduced automation. You could have introduced more people. There could be various reasons why your throughput went high. Okay. And there could be days wherein we had holidays, we had low capacity, and hence we had low throughput. It is as simple as our average velocity is the number that we consider and not the absolute velocity of the last sprint, correct? That's the same concept in throughput also. We did not like to just be concerned about lows or be very happy about highs, but see whether it is oscillating around an average. Make sense?
so Nisha, my question is, observing this throughput chart, what exactly we can analyze? Because it's not giving us an average of, right? Initially, it was too
You can
low,
always,
and
it was too low. Okay. What was happening here with respect to the other metrics? What was the WIP that you had? Maybe this is just when we started the team, we had infrastructure issues. So any of this is a tool of transparency, Amrita, right? This is telling you that we need to assess what was happening here.
okay, got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. All right. And then I did like to also help you understand that your tools for you to control your risk is your leading indicators, which is your WIP, the number of items in progress, and the work item age. Because cycle time and throughput are after the fact, the lagging indicators. You can't do anything about them. Okay. But these are the ones, when you look at that there are too many items in progress, it's a risk that we may have things that may not get done because people are in the mindset of pulling work rather than completing work. Make sense? So you want your team to be in the business of start finishing, stop starting, right? That's where we have WIP limits. So higher number of items in progress is a risk indicator. Maybe it is because of urgent matters or something came up, whatever are the reasons. Okay. And so is the work item age. If the age is higher and higher, something is blocked for long, right? It's a risk indicator, right? So on your board on a day-to-day basis during this daily scrum, I did like you to facilitate your discussion around your WIP and work item age, right? These
Okay, so
are your
both
risk indicators.
these are red flags, right?
Both are red flags, absolutely. Yeah. So those are your leading indicators. Control them and you should have a better control over the. Now, this is not a flow metrics per se, flow efficiency, but just a formula I thought you might want to know. And this is where you did like to calculate your wait time. But you'll be able to calculate your wait time only when you're visualizing your flow, you have looked at it, you have closely monitored it. And your wait could be because of the process. Maybe you have an approval process and you're waiting on something and someone, or your wait time could be for other engineering practices related matters, whatever is it. Okay. So this is how you will know that has your flow efficiency improved basis the changes that you have made. Okay. So don't make too many changes in one go. Take one change, assess your flow metrics, take another change, assess your flow metrics, and go on from there. Okay. All right. And with that, I did like to conclude on the talk for the flow metrics. Open for more questions if you have. Yeah, Subir.
Yeah, Nisha, not on metrics. Basically, from Scrum and Kanban, but particularly regarding, I mean, planning point of view, what is the basic difference? I mean, is there any difference actually?
So Kanban planning is all about replenishing whether we have enough backlog in place so that our team is busy enough. While the Scrum planning is more to do with, the we have a large plan which is in your product backlog, a product roadmap, and we have planned for which we want to split that product plan into sprint plan, into daily plan. So, right. So this is all, Scrum is all about continuous planning to the level that we are doing daily planning to achieve and get that continuous alignment to product goal. While Kanban doesn't kind of have that alignment or focus on the goal per se. It is all about let the flow come in and we work on it. Let the flow come in and work on it.
Okay. Sure. And there is no time bound, right? I mean, the completion.
There is no time bound. The Kanban doesn't have the time box. That's where people think that it is a good thing that we don't have a sprint concept or a sprint planning Nikanna and all of those things. But it's not that way. Kanban also has a replenishment meeting. It also talks about retrospective. It also talks about a demo. It also talks about daily meeting. Okay. So people just think that Kanban is take in work and start working. If you are applying Kanban in the true sense, and these are also part of the Kanban.
Okay.
Except the time boxing is not there.
Okay.
But I think time boxing helps, to be very honest.
Okay. Jira board and all, I mean, same, like the flow and all will continue same, right? Except planning and other time box.
The sprint concept is not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are
the
basic
iteration. Iteration concept is not there. Yes, Sitarama.
Hi, Nisha. My question is, I was trying to go through the SAFe and I found that flow, like what you said, all the Kanban things, like I saw that SAFe is completely flow based. It is what we have discussed in Kanban is part of SAFe also. Like, then how can you
So
say
let
is it
me
different?
no, so let me put it this way. The SAFe is applied for the enterprise transformation. At a team level, it suggests two methods, either Scrum or Kanban.
Correct.
Okay, so at a unit level, whether you're using Kanban or Scrum, it depends. But at a portfolio level, how do you manage? At a larger, at a multiple Scrum teams, how you manage, which is your art. And then how do you manage at a portfolio level? And how do you manage at an enterprise level is what SAFe is prescribing. Okay, I hope that helps.
Yeah, just one small addition. Like my question is, value streams are actually complete flow optimization and everything, right? So that part is only Kanban, or value streams is Kanban?
Visualizing your flow comes from Kanban as a practice. Okay, what SAFe has gone ahead and done is that ensuring the collaboration piece of the agile principles, right? Interactions, individuals. It is all about customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So instead of every department working in silos, the department organization should be around the value stream. So the importance of the value stream was brought up by SAFe to bring in that collaboration in place. Okay. Yeah, Amrita.
Okay, guys, I think we, in the interest of time, can we, I have something to share with you.
Yeah, awesome. All right,
Thank you.
time
Thank you,
boss.
guys. Okay. I'll hold Amrita your questions, okay, just for a moment, right? So, I've been worked with this Kanban, lead time, cycle time in manufacturing industry, worked lean projects. I'm a lean Six Sigma expert, lean expert, but everything is there. Still, I had always this doubt about whether somebody are suddenly come and ask you whether this lead time is bigger or cycle time is bigger. What is lean time? What is cycle time? How many people have this confusion? Somebody asked that question also, but still, I'm saying even now here, all the question, like if I suddenly come up and interest, okay, tell me, explain me what is lead time, what is cycle time, how many people will still have a confusion? Yes or no? Yes. How many people remember Scrum values? So can we learn lead time, cycle time also in the same method? Some visualization method? Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, Prama.
You will not forget it. Next time, somebody come and say lead time, cycle time, you are going to get that one. Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Okay. So listen, I mean, this is something which I created in the evening. So yeah, be with me. Just take 5 minutes. Can you see screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are ordering a pizza and you're getting delivered pizza, right? Get it? You understood? Clear, no? So what is this?
Yes.
Yep.
What is delivery?
Yes, yes.
Lead time. Anand, can you be on mute because you lot of background noise from your side, okay? Yeah, so lead time is order to deliver. I'll give you the way to remember this, but just understand order to delivery is lead time. Make sense? No confusion, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Just answer. Yeah. Second, the preparation time in the kitchen is cycle time. So when you get an order, when you press the order in the mobile or you go to the counter and say, oh, I want, they don't immediately start cooking. Agree? They might have some backlog and all those things will be there and they start after some time. And then after the cooking, they will start delivering to you. So there is some time goes there also. The actual preparation time is called cycle time. Right? Now, how do we remember? There are 5 things we just thought about. So I'm just connecting with the example of the pizza. So you can remember it earlier and I'll give you some word for remembering this also. So lead time is from ordering pizza to delivery of pizza. Okay. Cycle time is the time to cook pizza. And aging is how long item has been in progress, say the cooking process, right? How long the taking is the aging. Throughput is how many pizzas are made in a day. it would be different based on different days, right? Sundays and Saturdays in a hotel, it will be more, and Mondays and Tuesdays, it might be less. Agree? So throughput of that one, maybe it will also talk about the capacity of the workers and other things also. And work in progress is how many pizzas are being cooked at same time. Clear this one? Now, how to remember this one? So I was trying to create a word remembering for all these four letters. So I came up with my chat GPT given such a beautiful word. So I just came with this one. Okay. Can you imagine this one? Can you somebody read this out louder?
Lions chase antelopes through wide lands.
Lions chase antelopes through wide lands. Now, lions chase antelopes through wide lands. Now, light time, cycle time, aging, throughput, work in progress. You will remember this? Amrita, yes? Now, what is the point? Lead time is the longest one. Are you getting that one? Okay, cycle time lesser than that. This was confusing for me all the time. That, though I know the real concept, if somebody said a lead time is better, bigger one, or cycle time is bigger one. Okay, make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. I know we all
Yes.
stayed for 10 more minutes. Just to stay 5 more minutes for some small things here. So we have Nisha is conducting a PSK session on this weekend. So anybody who interested it can look into the PSK, Professional Scrum with Kanban. That's a scrum.org course, which costs you, like, you can buy that exam by $200 in the website. So you'll get a certification like that. You all got the PSM1 certification, right? Something similar. You have PSK certification. The actual cost is around 23,980 rupees. So in this training, actually the training will be there for 2 days, and then 2 attempts of training program, 14 videos, etc., and materials, etc. So actually market price is 23,998 plus 18% GST coming to, and discounted prices sometimes you will get in websites called 21,000 plus 18% GST. What we are getting it now is for our community. Nisha is providing is actually 19,900. Okay, so that comes to base prices of 16,850 only. So I'll send you some WhatsApp group link. I'm not sending any payment link to people. I'll send you some WhatsApp group link. Only the people who interested to join that training program, join the WhatsApp group, and I will get you the payment method, etc. Right? This is the final price. And second thing which we are doing is yeah. So this 21,000 actually for 19,900 is what we are doing. Dates are to 12 and 13. I'll send you the in chat. I'll send you the links. Okay, let me do that one quickly. Couple of links are there, so I don't want you to confuse it. And okay, so I'm sending separate links. Wait. So let me share what are things I have sent it. Okay. Can somebody read it out on the chat window? What are the messages came in? Amrita, can you just read it out for? I know we are late, so I just wanted to put everything together. Someone read it, please. Amrita, you can read it out or not? You're on mute, Amrita.
Which chat window you are talking about? A WhatsApp group?
I send a chat in the Zoom chat.
Oh, Zoom chat.
You are able to could see that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
LinkedIn
The first
post.
one is I have just created a post
LinkedIn
for
post.
this LinkedIn.
Yes.
So
And
take it out and please take a minute to comment on these sessions so that many more people can see that and come and participate in this one. So though we had 150, 160 people in the beginning, but now we have only 112. So we have October 12, 13, this PSK session is there. And also we have a PSM1 session is October 19, which is costing only 17,000. And we have a Scrum Master Interview Master course coming on November. That is that payment link, etc. They kept it there. And in case anybody wanted to get my help or support on the getting Scrum Master job, that's there in that one. Okay. So I think with that, I will stop sharing on. Did I stop sharing already?
Yes, Pramod.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have some more, slides on that, but anyway, it doesn't matter really. So thank you so much. It's like 1.5 hour or 1 hour 40 minutes. Really, really appreciate. I hope this was beneficial for you. See you next time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nisha. Right?
Yep, thank
Anybody?
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Anyone
you.
wanted to join on?
Thank you.
Anyone wanted to join on PSK or PS someone? Please register into the WhatsApp group
Thank
and
you, Pramod.
Audible.
Sure, you all. Pramod, you are muted.
what is that?
Can't hear you.
Not able to hear you.
Okay. Is it
Now,
able to?
yes.
Okay. So
Now
what I said was like I sent it the messages. So we will meet you next time. And anybody who wanted to join on PSK, Professional Scrum with Kanban or Professional Scrum Master Training, please join the link and I'll connect with you and close it out tomorrow on the process. And thank you so much. And thank you so much, Nisha, for sparing your
Yep.
time for clearing this out.
Absolutely. My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank you. And once again, congratulations, Lavanya and Logesh and Abhishek too.
Thank
Okay,
you, Pramod.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks,
Nisha.
Pramod.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.